comfort. Welcome to Divine Apparel, your ultimate destination for trendy fashion that speaks to your soul. Whether you're looking for the perfect t-shirt to express your personality, a stylish snapback to complete your look, or a cozy hoodie for those chill days, we've got you covered. At Divine Apparel, we believe that every piece should empower you. Divine Apparel, where your style is a reflection of who you are.
One, two, check. One. Throws. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Can I be heard? Check 1 2, check 1 2.
Is Trina there?
Check 1 2, check 1 2. I ain't hear the conversion up. Not my audio ain't set right. Anybody here?
World, are y'all ready?
I don't know what's going on. I can't get my business to pay nothing. I need to sample that joint for when I do my live stream. I need Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We got to get that joint sampled, man. Anyway, family. Yeah. It's time for us to get busy up here.
Is Trina there?
I can't get my music to play. I ain't even tripping, man. This ain't even about that anyway tonight. Welcome to another edition of Moorish World TV. I'm your host, Brother Tariq Baby, that can't get the music to play. I don't understand what's going on, but we don't need a whole bunch of music. We don't need a lot of introduction. There's no introduction to this. Let me see something, though. Let me see if I can try a little something, man. I haven't used this platform in a while, so y'all got to work with me. I like to use gaming platforms, and this here is the interviewing platform. And so, as you know, I got brother Crip Jesus in the building. And anybody familiar with the is anybody familiar with the Big U RICO? If you're not familiar with the Big U RICO, Big U is a former Crip, and I say former Crip because I don't know his status. He could be active, I don't know, but I'll say former Crip who turned to become a music exec, also a community activist, and he was instrumental in getting Nipsey Hussle to the next level, some say. Also, he was instrumental in trying to bring gangs together in California. Now, that could be propaganda. I don't know. This is why I have brought someone that is from the area, Los Angeles, to bring us up to speed. I am very interested in this situation. The reason why I'm very interested in this situation, because it involves, and I tell you, I like these stories. I mean, I like these stories because all of these stories would not even be a thing. Thank you, Troy Parker. All of these stories wouldn't be a thing if it wasn't for the internet. I'm telling you that social media and social media, YouTube in particular, creators have made it easy for people to put themselves in prison. Has made it easier for them to put themselves in prison. They're putting themselves in prison. However, it's the social media podcast, the content creator, that facilitates the precipitation of going to prison. Now, listen, where I'm at in my life, I don't celebrate death. Like, people are arguing whether, what's the guy name from BMF? Big Meech. People are arguing whether Big Meech snitched or not, and whether it is appropriate to accept him back into whatever this community is. And if he snitched, it's not appropriate. Let me say this. This is what I stand on. Big Meech is a murderer of our people. Big Meech has not apologized for murdering our people. Big Meech is not a part of an organization to reverse any deeds that he's done to our people. Big Meech is a dope dealer to our people. And you have people, literally a former dope dealer to our people. You have people literally arguing whether he's a snitch or not, and whether he should be admitted back into whatever this thing is called a community. But the real conversation is supposed to be, what contribution has this guy made to reverse the damage that he's done to the community? This is how crazy situations are amongst us as a people. We would measure somebody's worth by what they have, even if they obtained it wrongfully or at the death and blood of our people. And if the person obtains this sort of wealth at the expense of our people on this social media streets, they would cheerlead and champion that. The young rappers say they're going to kill this, they're going to do this, they did this, and they do this. Guess what? The young youth, they cheerlead it and lead it on. Cheer it on. And it's the same thing happened with people in our age group. It seems to me that those in our age group now, they are so desperate for attention and recognition, they will go on, instead of making a song about the crimes, now they will go on the internet and talk about the crimes. And these crimes that they're talking about is all perpetrated against us. And then I watch some of these podcasts would debate on whether somebody is a snitch or not. And then many times you have a European like Adam 22 from No Jumper that will facilitate them telling on themselves, that will facilitate them to promote their ignorance, and that will facilitate them to go to jail and then make another podcast about them going to jail. They make content. The content about them talking about the crimes, content about them about to commit a crime, and content about them going to jail. And in these podcasts, I talk about Tariq Nasheed as not being who he claimed to be. In these podcasts, he's in these circles too. But he's in the circles in a way that I'm trying to wrap my mind around. Because how is it that you have Bricc Baby, if you don't know him, he's one that's caught up in the RICO. Loose Cannon, he's caught up in the RICO. How is it that you have these guys that's on the suspected agents podcast, but then you have a Tariq Nasheed who's bringing a content that's not even consistent with the content that's being talked about. The content on Adam 22, No Jumper, is about young, reckless, crazy guys doing wild stuff. And every once in a while, that wild stuff comes to light, comes to reality. So tonight I got Crip Jesus on the show. He actually went to Adam 22. He actually went to No Jumper. The guy that he was with, I find him very entertaining. I would love to see Crip Mac out of jail. Crip Mac, if you're not familiar with Crip Mac, just Google him and you'll see him. Yeah, Crip Mac. I really think that Crip Mac could really capitalize of being a content creator if he wasn't so reckless. And he probably could make a lot of money as a content creator. I mean, so with that being said, family, with no further introduction, I want to bring in and have a serious conversation with my brother Crip Jesus, and I'm going to start from the top to see how we can try to pull back the layers of how something like this happened and how this Fed trap of social media creators is created. With that being said, there you go. Hey, Crip Jesus, hold up, Crip Jesus. You done came up in here. You done came up in here like my brother from Minister Society. What's your brother?
Sharif.
Yeah, you came up here like I expect you was gonna come up.
Hold on,
here.
brother. Put the swine down.
I thought you was gonna come in here like my guy. What's my guy from the hang with Ice Cube that they think he's the best Crip walker on the planet. You know what I'm talking about, man. Dub C. I thought you was gonna come in here like Dub C. You know what I mean? Wiping it. Brother, how you doing, big bro?
Peace of divine family, man. You know, I'm over here representing in the real way. And I mean that when I say in the real way, because a lot of those things, like we saying Dub C, a lot of these people were used to promote buffoonery and change the vibration of the brothers who were inspired by the Panthers, the brother Danifu Kareem Bey, the Grand Sheik in the Moorish Science Temple that actually created the first constitution for this weird thing we now know as Crip that's on TV with goofy dancing.
Bro, hold up, brother. When you say this weird thing, did you grow up Crip?
I am, yeah.
So when you say, just help us understand, you know, because many people who speak on Crip or speak on Blood, you know, they kind of tiptoe around what it actually is to be Crip. Do you see Crip as a neighborhood community thing, or do you see it as some type of organization that brings destruction? How do you view Crip from your experience and what it's become?
I didn't say this weird thing as in Crip as a whole. I put it opposing to the thing created by the brother Danifu Kareem Bey. Doing 15 years in prison from a teenager, I got to see both sides. I grew up in the ignorant side, so I know exactly why the brothers who act like that and move like that do. You feel me?
Right.
But through being in prison for 15 years and then getting out as a 5%er and traveling with the specific guys I traveled with, that's why they call me the blue guy, not just me, but my whole tree. I got to see things in different states and get a different perspective and understand. That's when I even met the brother Cosmo L. He's the one who put me to Danifu Kareem Bey and took me. That's all right here. That's why I put together the Blue Bible, not just for a marketing scheme and be funny. It's like, this is the true elements. You ever heard when they say, yeah, Crip, and they try to be positive, they say community revolution and progress.
Right.
But no, Danifu said even that was made up later. They remixed it, infiltrated everything. He said it was the community revolutionary inter-party services. That's something where you sound like you read books.
Right.
You feel me? So that's why I came dressed like this. I had a little get up. You know,
no, you good, bro. You good, bro. You good, bro.
I came on purpose to show you this is how the big homies really present themselves. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. So what I really appreciate though, the candidness, because you grew up in it or you been a part of it, the world don't see it the way you just explained it. And so I'm glad. I mean, I'm not going to say the world don't see it as you explained it. Majority of us don't see it. We have an image. We have an image, right? We have those outside of the gang life.
You're right. The world don't see it the way. You're right.
Yeah. We have an image that it's blood against Crip and that it's war all the time. And if you go to California, you better not wear this color. You better not wear that color. And if you go into the wrong neighborhood, that you ain't gonna make it out. When I know that's not necessarily true. If you're not living in that lifestyle or if you're not in the deep trenches, you might be all right going into a little bit of territory. But if you go into the deep trenches in any neighborhood, you might be in trouble because you don't belong there in the first place if you don't got no family there. So what I want to go to the next thing is, go ahead, brother. You ready to say something?
Yeah, so I actually talk about that in the book. I say that the civil war between Bloods and Crips goes from 1972 to 2022. Now we're in 2025. That's 3 years ago, right? I can contest. I've been here to witness it. I know I traveled, but I've been in LA for going on 3 years. There's no Blood and Crip civil war anymore. But however, it's still manufactured through the television, through the podcast, through the brothers coming together for the music video to make it look a certain way as if it's going on. The truth is, me and you could come here right now and walk through the toughest hood and eat sunflower seeds and drink lemonade and wear blood and blue. It's gentrified out here. That's what's really going on.
Bro, I seen it. I seen it firsthand, bro. I seen it firsthand. But I mean, you know, I walked through the valley of the shadow.
Most of the neighborhoods are empty. And these people that's on the, we're gonna get to it, but these people that's on the podcast, Rico, they're the people who not only facilitated through the podcast, they facilitate the minds of the youth to believe this stuff is going on. A lot of stuff they're talking about is from the 60s and 70s and 80s.
Man, stop it, bro. This is, bro, stop, bro. Bro, this is. Yeah, this is going to be good, bro. And I can see that, bro, because I can tell you, I've been to Cali twice. And I'm not a tough guy by far. But I am from Maryland, Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? By the way of Annapolis, Maryland, man. And Baltimore is grimy, super grimy. I do a lot of work in these parts. You know what I'm saying? So I have no real fear of going anywhere. But what I did notice, I will tell you this. I went to Long Beach. And Long Beach is a clean gangster city. If it's the parts of Long Beach that I seen, I was like, bro, this is not that. You know what I mean? And then when we look at projects over here, we see tall buildings, you know what I'm saying, stacked on top of each other. When we see hoods over the west, bro, that look like the suburbs to a degree because it's single family houses, you know what I'm saying? So what I notice in LA is the vibration, it probably could rock you to sleep. This is what I called it when I was there. I said LA could rock you to sleep because it doesn't appear firsthand that it's like it is in the movies or like they display it on the internet. But somebody probably would knock your block off and you won't even see it coming because it seems so chill right now. Is it really chill?
But I'm saying
you get your block knocked off. I know that still can happen. But
I'm gonna give you an answer. Listen, the crime rate is down like over 60% of what it was. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So the crime rate is so down that it's nowhere near what it was at all. And I'm old enough to have lived in that time that's portrayed in the video games and the movies when you would walk out to school and there's a dude out there trying to jack you for your shoes. I remember that era.
Right.
So I can speak on it. And I don't say I remember that era like I lived in Lancaster or the Valley and used to visit it and see it. I grew up at those schools. I grew up in the area that Nipsey's glamorizing in the songs and all that. I grew up right there. I remember when it was like that. I remember when it was tough. I remember when it was hard to even walk around the schools. It's not like that anymore. But however, the podcast.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear, brother.
They cast a spell on you, right? Their job is to cast a spell on you to believe it's still like that. They literally sit on these podcasts and lie and act like it's still like that and sit there and tell all these stories. And then, you know, we do. Because let's say you're 29 years old and on this block, something happened to you. But that's within your 29 years of going to this block all the time. And you're known for doing these different activities. You're into it with someone. So maybe something did happen to you once or twice on that block because you got into trouble and you start doing illegal activities. That doesn't mean it's a crime-ridden, dangerous block. And I can say that because I remember being around when these specific blocks were like that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, that's literally good to hear due to the fact that we all have, I think if you're from the East Coast, we all have this image of LA and stuck in our mind is Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society. That's what's locked in our mind. But like I say, when I went to LA, I've been there quite a couple times, and I didn't see that type of imagery, even though it's that type of imagery, but it feels like it's a little bit cleaned up now. With that being said, bro, when we look at the Big U situation, so I learned from Big U like everybody else outside of LA. I looked at it from a podcast perspective. I seen him on the podcast. I really got introduced to the guy from a media perspective by listening to Whack 100 and them going back each other, calling each other snitches. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's interesting. You know, Whack stay in everything. You know what I mean? So that's when I first got on the radar of Big U about them going back with the snitch thing. But were you active when Big U was around? Are y'all from the same area? Are y'all near the same vicinity? Is he the Big U that the internet describes him as? Like he's a bigger than life figure as it relates to what they made him out in this crime that they accused him of, as well as on the internet they have him as a bigger than life figure, and the guy that's opposing him on the internet, if you will, would be Whack 100. And you know, what is your impression? And do you know the brother? Have you ever passed a brother or whatever?
So, Big U is, you know, this is an open, active thing. So I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, I don't want you to talk about this.
I got it, bro. I got it. Let me answer this.
No, because we ain't gonna add him 22.
I got you.
I got you, bro.
He's what he says he is.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And I know him as far as I've met him and all that, but I knew him way before I met him, just in hearing about him all the time. And then I'm from a hood that's right next to his. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Don't worry about the comments, bro.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm from a hood next to his, so he had a reputation. But to be honest with you, this indictment he don't have nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the podcasting. It's all about when he been doing these interviews since about like 2018.
Right. And you say what we doing?
No, say that again.
Now, what you were saying, I'm trying to follow your thought. I'm actually going to share your link to your channel. You say he was doing these podcasts since 2018?
So about 2018, he goes on Vlad TV, and he starts doing these podcasts saying I'm the leader of this and that, and I've been here and I went there and we do this and whatever the hell he said, right? And that's when the world became aware of him. Before WAP, because when he went on Vlad, that was 2018.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have the whole thing with the concept of checking in, right? And that came into play when he actually made a podcast called Check It In Podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy, 2022. So a lot of this this attention he's getting is what he brought on himself through old dudes trying to be young. Because we both know I'm way younger than him, and I wouldn't even fathom of going on a podcast and saying I'm the leader of criminals and crime and no. You know what I mean? You can say you joined whatever or you've been a part of whatever. That doesn't mean you did crime. There's tons of Crips and Bloods that don't have records and stuff. That's just like you said, it's the image thing. You think of, oh, Crip, there's Crips that's nerds. You feel what I'm saying? There, you know what I mean? There's Crips that just got peer pressured in or whatever and never came back around or whatever. It's from the bottom to the top. It's every mode. You are an older guy who made it out, who has a football organization, whose son is playing for the
San Diego Chargers, I think.
Right? Who has an organization for children. The truth is, you didn't have to go to any of these podcasts to do that. You're not doing bad, and you need to tell your story because you need to get some money. You're trying to fit in. You want the glory. And you know what? That's what you got to be careful with the gin. You know what I'm saying? Because people forget when you look at the westernized version, gin go to genie, right? So a genie, be careful what you wish for, right? It gives you what you want. So it's like you wanted that glory. You see it back to back to back to back to back. Whether it's Young Thug, K-Flock, our people are the people, especially those who identify as Negro, Black, and colored that deal with the science of death. They seem to think it's cool. They be like, oh, why you mad at them for making lyrics? It's just lyrics. I'm like, just lyrics? Man, to be honest with you, I come from that life, and I feel uncomfortable when I walk into my grandma's house or something, and my cousin's in there playing shit about get the whop and hit the bag and hit the lick and we heard niggas snitching. I'm like, why y'all talking like that? That's how dudes talk where the prison I just came from. Why y'all talking like that? Because they broadcasting these things straight to them. You feel what I'm saying? And they're paid to do it.
But before you get, you said you had some things that you want to share with us, with some screen shots or shares or whatever you have. But I wanted to ask you, you went to No Jumper. You did an interview with No Jumper some years ago. How did you end up on No Jumper?
So
how did that happen?
I have a relationship with Crip Mac.
That's right, man.
I mean, I'm from where I'm from. It's no thing. See, that's the thing. It's a vibrational thing. They want to affiliate the vibration of Crip, which is already etymologically something dealing with death, like a crypt, right? But that's why I said Crip Jesus, to bring the life back into it, right? So what they have done is set the vibration so low with the word blood and the word Crip that Crip Mac was being used as a pawn to basically take it even lower, because at least it had some realm of like respect out of fear or violence there, right? Then Nipsey had kind of brought more of a entrepreneurial spirit. We like, okay, the Crips is getting money, or they maybe some type of honor bill, right?
And you can't forget Snoop.
No. Hell no.
Oh, we talk about that another time. We talk about that another time.
Well, we ain't got to talk about no other time. Snoop is the exact thing we're talking about. Snoop
I got you. I don't want to disturb your thought, but I will get back to that. I'm gonna take a note so I can get back to that on the back end.
No, but Snoop, Dub C, and all them dudes is part of the problem that I'm talking about. They're part of the reason why I had to write the Blue Bible, to show people that's just buffoonery. That's just dudes sitting up with millions of dollars, getting high, doing what some Jewish dude tell them to do. Hey, tell them that the Crips and Bloods going to be strippers tomorrow. All right, cool, whatever. Now we pimps on Thursday. Now we scammers on Friday. Now we right. So Crip Mac was brought to bring like this crazy, outrageous, funny vibration to the Crip thing, right?
Did you ever have? Because I will tell you, I was entertained by Crip. I thought he was out of his mind, but then I say, hold up, maybe he's playing into something. Because he would film himself going into stores. Also, he can rap a little bit. Seemed like it. I mean, but was he really? Was he able to talk to? I'm saying was because I think he's locked up right now. But is he able to? Are you able to talk to him and say, bro, they playing this game right now?
It don't matter, bro. Crip Mac is not nobody to talk to. He doesn't hold no importance within.
No. What I'm saying is,
what we talking about?
No. What I'm
okay.
No, hold up. What I'm trying to say is that when you have someone like Adam 22 using somebody like a Crip Mac to show buffoonery towards a section of our community, and you go on there with them, the question is Crip Mac one that you could talk to say, bro, you should pump the brakes on that because they're using this imagery to facilitate ignorance amongst our people. Is he one that you could talk to is the question.
Crip Mac is not one you can talk to.
Okay.
He is part of the agenda.
Okay, I got you.
Hold on. He's not
unconsciously, probably.
He's not knowingly part of the agenda.
I got you.
You have those that are intelligent enough to know what's going on, and they may even took an oath or signed a contract. These are the ones you say are working, right? Then you have those who are set at a level of education and understanding so low that they can basically be ushered around. You can put an agent around them and they'll go right along with it. You feel what I'm saying? Crip Mac had agents around him and didn't care. Crip Mac was being told by this white dude to do all type of crazy things and didn't care. People were telling him. We all told him.
Oh, I got you.
Care.
Right.
But here's the thing, though. But let me finish. All them dudes don't care. Snoop, Nipsey, all these dudes are sitting around, even the ones we idolize, because we've become idol worshipers to the point that we're idol worshiping criminals, bro. I really felt you on that, and I'm glad you worded it like that because we idolize criminals now, and it's out of control. We really take people who are literally telling our children, shoot this person, have weird, deviant type of sex, orgies. These dudes are saying some wild stuff, bro. And we be like, oh man, they changed their life. Like that Negro didn't just say he changed his life. He said, do that right now. And he said, you ain't doing that. You ain't real. He said, why are we acting like they're not saying this stuff? You feel
Right.
So the truth of the matter is that Crip Mac wasn't even a rapper, bro. Crip Mac was literally at his grandma's house making videos with like a black cat or something. It was like some mental health, crazy type stuff. So this was a perfect person for Adam 22 to use. He had a plan. He had an agenda. Because going all the way back to the 70s, if we take our opinions out of it and just keep wondering and we put some mathematics to it, do you know when they made the RICO? 1970. Do you know when they came out with the movie The Godfather?
Yeah.
1972. There are no strange happenings, right? You feel what I'm saying? When did Crip come out? 69. When they lock up the founder of it? 72. Then they come with all the blaxploitation movies. Remember, in the blaxploitation movies, even though they got them doing drugs, pimping, and being Negroes, they saying, yeah, brother, peace, fight the power, and all that. They're trying to frame it as if it's a televised virtual experience of the Black Power movement. They did the same thing. Remember in The Chronic, even though they're busting AKs and having orgies all through the album, it starts off with, if you are African and you down to fight.
Yeah. You calling that. Yeah, you call it. Call the game, brother. I'm loving this. You're
After
right.
the Rodney King riots, right? It's all the YouTube Fed Trap. So it's a mental casting.
Yeah. You called that one. Yeah, you just made me recall how they kind of implement this recklessness. You know what I mean? By using and that's the one of the points that I point out with these people that's selling this fake consciousness, that it's like, come on, we need to do this. The FBA, but when you pull back the layers, it's like, what you really doing? You ain't really doing nothing. You really doing nothing.
Yes, they are. I'm gonna tell you what they doing. etymology. They're podcasting.
Right.
They're using Apple tech because I've tried to figure out what that word means. So the pod part's for iPod. So they're using the Apple technology, right, to cast. So let's go into the FBA. Let's not go too deep in here. We're going to stick on Big U. But just like Big U and all these other people are being used on these podcasts to cast out a false image of Crip, because they're claiming in the indictment, not me, they're claiming in the indictment that he was using these podcast interviews to evoke fear into the hip-hop community to charge people money when they come to Cali for a fear that don't exist, because Cali nice as hell. You can drive right through here and be like, F your hood, and everybody can do that. But as long as you got the fear in their head, you're like, you better cash out. You see what happened to P&B Rock. You see what happened to do. Right? It's a mind game. So these people are using the podcast to cast out a spell. And the point is that, let's say someone like Snoop Dogg, he's never tried to cast a good spell on Crip, right? He's going to glamorize it and use it to try to convince you to do the most disgusting things on earth, but act like it's honorable because it's in the name of Crip, right? So when Nipsey at least slid in there, be business-minded, be health conscious, I start seeing dudes want to be health conscious gangbangers. That's where you get the NLE choppers and all that. That goes back to Nip, right? Because you see, you're like, damn, NLE chopper, you got this over the top gang image you're pushing. But then at the same time, you're over here talking about spirituality and food. Okay, this was all part of that goes to the Nipsey programming. He did that. I got it on my channel. I got an interview with one of his comrades, Malik Zaid. Malik Zaid is part of the New Africa movement. Now, why is that so important? Because according to Malik Zaid, not me, according to Malik Zaid, his personal friend, he was hanging with him, rapping and traveling through the country, dealing with black conscious movement before he even got courted on 6-0. I'm not saying that to diss him. I'm saying this because the true story needs to be told, because y'all casting these spells on these little kids. Like, oh, I could be like Nipsey. And then you think he got put on at 12 or 11. Ain't nobody reading and talking like that, only businesses that started gangbanging at 12 or 11. Don't play with them kids' mind like that. So according to Malik Zaid, he joined the gang on purpose because of this science we're talking about. He's like, man, they're not going to listen to me unless I'm one of them.
Okay, I got you. Makes sense.
According to him. I'm not saying that makes sense. I don't agree with that. I'm saying
no, that do make sense. That do make sense. People do try to adopt community norms in order to be accepted by certain communities. That makes sense. You know what I mean? With that being said, when you get into, I wanted to get back into Adam 22 and No Jumper, because I think Adam 22 and No Jumper is a science project to look into things like Vlad and look into things like the other guy. What's the other guy that was bringing on 6ix9ine? Academics. But these guys recently did a podcast together, all of them. Academics, did you check that out? Academics, Vlad, you never seen this before. Academics, Vlad, Adam 22, and Whack 100, all in the same room the other day. It appears to be like some sort of celebration without clapping the hands that this RICO has happened. Did you see that podcast?
Yeah.
Insane to me. Now, with that being said, this is why I'm trying to use Adam as the prototype to give us an understanding. Are you of the thought that Adam, in that type of podcasting, whether it's on Clubhouse or on social media, that it's designed to get people trapped up, caught up, and coming acting a buffoon? Do you think it's like because he was a skateboarder, right? He was a skateboarder, and now he's facilitating conversation that ultimately send people to jail or get people's lives taken per se. Vlad was a DJ, not a good DJ at that, You know what I mean? But he still calls himself a DJ. He doesn't DJ, and that same thing like with AR Ab, and people fell victim on his channel. Then we have the other guy that you just mentioned. What's his name again? He's from, I never seen him DJ either.
Oh, Academics.
Academics. He's from Jamaica.
From America. He's a Jamaican.
Yeah, he's from Jamaica, but he called himself DJ Academics. I never seen him like a DJ in the sense of a Jazzy Jeff or a D Nice. Like, in their facilitating these conversations, what do you have to say about that dynamic right there? Is that is this dynamic planted there, or it has evolved into that? What you think?
I know for a fact it's planted there. I can give you the background. So you have Vlad, a failed. He was trying everything. He wasn't a DJ per se. He was one of those people that try everything. Everybody throws DJ in their resume when they try everything. So you're trying to film stuff. You're trying to make mixtapes. You're trying to do. He's just a white dude, or Albion, I should say, Caucasian man that's just trying to find his way through the Moorish world and don't fit there. Now, when he sued Rick Ross, he got his first little piece of paper. He took that money and bought video equipment and started the Vlad TV thing. That's how that happened. Okay.
What did he sue Rick Ross for? I'm not even familiar with that. What happened with that?
Okay, so when he was doing his failed career in the beginning, he ran up on Rick Ross asking him about being the CEO and all that, and they got in a fight.
Okay,
Rick Ross had him jumped, and then he sued him, and you feel what I'm saying? They sued him, and he got a cool little penny, and he took that. And that's all of a sudden when Vlad TV starts. But here's the funny thing about Vlad TV, though. He lets you know that he's working if you really pay attention to what he says. He brings police on there. He brings mob people on there that are snitches. He brings openly known snitches. And what's weird about it is he almost brags about working. He says, yeah, I know this and I know that, and I can get this done and I can make that happen. And you shouldn't be legal. And the conversation has almost nothing to do with music. Right. And what's happened here is that you have to pay attention to the wording here. So you have cast, like a radio casting waves, right? Frequencies. So once upon a time, we didn't walk around listening to airwaves all day. I know that seems normal now to these youngsters now. But, you know what I mean? We can remember when we used to run outside and all that, right? So the radio was a thing. You turn on the radio, people listen to music. Hey, let's go, y'all. So imagine the devil, evil mad scientist saying, imagine if I could get them to listen to like me. But I can't come in the voice of me. But if I can get someone like an AI basically back then, if they get AI us, if they can get a Snoop Dogg to sit there and say, hey, this is your local Crip representative. Be a pimp. Pimp your baby mama. Yeah. All right. They can't say that to you. You be like, you hear that? Go to court. We're suing them. They telling us to pimp our baby mamas on the radio. But they can get Snoop today. See what I'm saying? I can't get up here and say, shoot your cousin. Okay, yeah. I can't sit up there and say, shoot your cousin, drink this 40 and get put on, even if you in high school playing football. But I can get someone that look like you, sound like you, put the spell on them. It's the same thing they did with Christianity. Came in the name of the prophet. You get what I'm saying? It's the
Absolutely.
same thing the Arabs did. So this became our religion. I would say this is around the time of the 60s movement. So you got the Black Panthers, right? You got Motown, right? And you have all these different elements of the Moorish culture evolving. You got everybody joining all these different groups, organizations with the Prophets movement gaining some traction, with the NOI, with Malcolm X, Stanley Carmichael. You have all that's going on. Time we want to go back to this time. But if you think about it in the media, when you think of a time like that, you're going to say the 70s. Your soul brother and the afro and the pistol and all that, right? And the man. Remember, he said the revolution will not be televised. So what they did was they took the revolution, made a fake version of it, televised it, right? That's on the visual level. That's for your ears and your eyes. But they was doing groundwork. Yes, they were. Could I put this up here real quick? They was doing groundwork. It was called the Ghetto Informant Program. It was an intelligence gathering operation run by the Federal Bureau of Investigation from 1967 to 1973. Its official purpose was to collect information pertaining to riots and civil unrest. Through GIP, the FBI used more than 7,000 people to infiltrate poor black communities in the United States. There goes a book written by my brother Jim Rathen, Snitch Culture. So yeah, this goes back to the late 60s. Now look at the years there, see? This is the same years they took down Martin Luther King. Was he 68? Father Allah, 69. Right? This is when 69 when they locked down Bunchy Carter. He was the leader of the Black Panthers out here in LA. This was all on purpose. And if you notice, Snoop and a lot of those dudes have an obsession with the 70s culture. And they're gonna lie and say, oh, it's because my mama and them should listen to that. You can believe that. But look at their background. Did they start off on that? Or did they get pushed to push that same psychedelic agenda in that blaxploitation film agenda? You feel what I'm saying? But the devil don't never create nothing. He grafts on. So like you said, you had the movement, the revolution movement in the 60s, they grafted on, made their content for the 70s. And they came with groundwork. So GIP means that when the games was being created, when Blood and Crip was on the floor level, it was snitches there. And we heard these stories. I know I've heard. I'm not just talking about no documentaries. I've heard from my own big homies that the police used to come and get cars from people and drive to the opposite hood and shoot it up. It'd be like, "Suvu, it's the blood." Because what y'all can't imagine, because y'all seen on TV, is that once upon a time wasn't blood, Crip, beef, and all that. That wasn't even manufactured.
Right. So how does that bring it up to speed? How does that translate to now being these podcasts are able to attract the same ones that may be or may not be committing crimes, but go on a podcast and just say everything that can get them indicted? How does these, look at Adam 22, bro. He's like a former skinhead, porn guy, skateboard guy, attracting people that are putting in dangerous type of work against their own people, of course. How does he get these people right there in front of him to expose themselves and these heinous crimes that they commit? How does that work?
I mean, I'm gonna hurt people's feelings, but it is what it is. That's what hip hop is. Hip hop is somebody that ain't got nothing to do with the streets, taking people, it's slavery, taking people from the streets and using them and buying their likeness and selling their story. So first let's start with Def Jam, right? What the hell is deaf? Like, did your mama used to say that? Where we even get that word from? Oh, this is deaf. Man, this is come on, bro. This is how this brainwashing. Def Jam, jam to death, dance to death. And look at who was claimed started the hip hop. I'm not talking about the little fake story with well, I ain't gonna say it's fake story, but I'm not talking about the little story of somebody at the house with the DJ. I'm saying supposedly Africa Bambaataa is the spearhead who organized everything, right? And gave the acronym. But we found out later on he was behind the scenes touching everybody. You had to get initiated and go through him and get bent over and all that to come into the studio and get signed. Now, here's what they do. The perversion of it makes you laugh or think, oh, that's crazy. I don't want to hear it no more. Let's look at the initiation side of it. That sounds just like what you hear Illuminati got going on. That sounds just like what you hear the hazing going on in the colleges. That sounds just like what you hear going on in the prisons. That's what I started realizing. Oh, they want to take a real one like me and force this on me. So that's supposed to happen to me in the prison, or that's supposed to happen to me just along the lines of in the gangs, right? So You realize Africa Bambaataa, questionable background. Game banger probably got caught up, start working. Now he touching kids and all that, and they calling it hip hop and bringing them to sign their name and their voice and sign the life insurance and all that to this Def Jam. Right? That's how we started hip hop. Who was Eazy-E in them? Eazy-E's a game banger from Compton, but who the hell is Jerry Heller? Some random white rock and roll dude? That's who controlled that. So while we sitting there looking like, ooh, that's hard. I want to be just like them. That's what's really going on in the streets. Oh yeah, ooh. It's Jerry Heller pulling the strings in the background. It been that, bro. What was Death Row? That wasn't real. That was fake. They can say what they want. I'm here to tell you. That's why you brought me, right? Suge is not who he claiming to be. I'm not saying he wasn't in the game and he wasn't powerful and all of that. But the whole image, like he this OG blood, running the streets and all. No, bro. They stole all that from Harry O, basically. Like Harry O was the dude. Remember, he had Denzel Washington on his first thing. He was getting money in the streets. He was well known, well respected. He had the Godfather Entertainment. David Kenner, that lawyer dude, the mafia lawyer. He orchestrated all that. Suge was basically the face of it, the muscle and everything, right? He got everybody money. He made all the contracts. He got everybody to sign the contracts. He got Harry O to sign the money over. That's all David Kenner and Jimmy Iovine. So it's David Kenner and Jimmy Iovine teaching you how to be a gangster. That's ridiculous.
And you make a solid point there, because once everything fell apart, Suge could not bring it back together to save his life. So if it was the genius,
Dr. Dre in Aftermath.
That's what I'm saying. If it was the genius of Suge, it wouldn't be nothing to be able to hold it together. And that makes a lot of sense. And I always wondered when it began to decline why he was unable to repeat. And he just went down that dark path, and it is what it is.
He got done like what we seeing now with Diddy and them. It's like he just was one of the first ones. Because remember, after him was Murder Inc. This been going on. Eazy-E, they took him down with the A's, right? So, and Suge even bragged about it on TV. Oh yeah, they pricked him with the woo. So it's like when you sign over to them, when you sign your soul to the devil, you're not getting away with it. It's just the ego. Dudes be thinking they so smart. So this goes back to the Big U thing where he went on the podcast itself. But before I get there, I'm gonna take you to the hidden piece. You know the hidden piece? When hip hop switched to the internet? World Star.
Yes, sir.
Don't let the skin fool you. Like we say, it's more. It's all skin folk ain't kin folk, right? The brother who started World Star was a porno dude. He wasn't no hip hopper. Booyah, yeah. No, he wasn't.
Why is it all of these guys turn out to be porno dudes?
Backgrounds. They not no hip hop music people.
Even when you look at a lot of these people like Adam 22, porn guy. You look at, I done found charges on Marcus. Well, let me say I found evidence of massage parlors with these guys with these podcasts and former backgrounds, all these little sealed documents and sealed records. Why is it that they always connect to the sex market or something?
Because we gotta stop acting like. We got to start what the prophets say. If I can get them to think, they'll save themselves. So we can't keep separating the sexual aspect from who these people are, right? So what you'll notice here is everyone who is behind, not everything I'm saying, the person who you say, oh, the feds is using him, they always have a weird sex case. All of them. I'm not done yet. As I walk through this, every person, 6ix9ine, Whack 100, Adam.
Whack ain't got no weird sex case.
They all have weird sex cases. They all got videotapes of dudes doing weird sex stuff. They all freaks, and they involved in the freak off, and that's how you keep them controlled. But it was the same thing back 400 years ago in slavery. We read all these books about niggas getting whipped. They wasn't whipping them with no whips. They was whipping them with that thing, man.
Oh my goodness. Buck broken as Freaky Ricky call it. Goodness gracious. So bro, what is the end resolve of how do you break the cycle? Because the Vlad TVs, they don't look like they're declining. Adam 22 don't look like he's declining. What's the name? Just got a weird sex accusation. DJ Academics. He just got another one accused of him. But they don't look like they're declining. It looks like people are waiting to go on these shows. Like, do they actually pay money to bring people on there? Is the money significant?
No one wants money no more. People don't even care about money. People want attention. So if you got enough attention to where you'll bring me attention, I'll pay. So it's like if you got enough attention to make their platform go viral, they'll pay you. But if they're going to be the ones helping you go viral, then no, they're not going to pay you. You're going to be more than happy to go on there for the attention.
Okay, I see how it worked now. With that being said, it's a guy that got locked up too named Loose Cannon. Loose Cannon seems to be on the podcast one time bragging about Meek Mill checking in, and they taking Meek Mill chain and like it was a normal thing to rob somebody. Like you really just robbed this guy and telling the world that you robbed this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, it's worse than that, right? So remember I said when they made the ghetto informant program in the late 60s, it lasted from about 67 all the way to 73. It's no coincidence that that's when some of the biggest assassinations of black leaders took place, right? Where they had the ghetto informant program. These programs don't stop. COINTELPRO may stop on the term of that part of the government, stop like that program was a 5-year program, but the tactics learned and used and gained from those experiments are implemented now into the rest of their programs.
Yeah, and so I think it's repackaged.
So what I'm trying to say basically is that there's a mixture here, Sheik. There's those who are paid to tell. Some of them dudes ain't did nothing. It's like the fake rapper dude that ain't never been to the streets. He's being paid to inspire you to tell. It's that deep. Hold on. Let me run it back.
Now that's Moorish World TV, brother. That's the type of research we do here.
I'm going to pay you to come up here as Crip Jesus. I'm Crip Jesus. I called 20 bodies yesterday. You ain't like me. You got to do this. So now the youngster watching saying, oh, well, let me go. So the youngster might even come in live. So the next youngster after him will say, oh, no, I'm going to tell the real. Yeah, I really caught this by you. You see what I'm saying? They've studied us like little rats in the laboratory for long enough to do this. Bro, this Big U thing scared me. I'm going to tell you why. Not because of Big U, because the phone calls I got. I got calls weirder than people I looked up to talking about. I'm like, what? This is what you got? Yeah, I can't believe it. And I'm like, why do you care about, like you were saying in the beginning, like, why do you care about if the dude is we arguing about if he snitched and this and that, and what you got to do with crime? And I start realizing there's an obsession with criminality amongst our people going back to the 70s since the blaxploitation films. That's why you even get the dudes sometimes be the cleanest in our community saying, well, don't get it twisted though. You know, I got the, like, don't get what twisted. Why you want to seem like you a criminal? It weirds me out because for me, coming from that world and being so proud to get away from it, to see people who don't have nothing to do with it at all, trying to like speak on the rules or, you know, brag or use it to evoke pride. So basically, the program worked so good, I don't think Loose Cannon is an agent. I think we're witnessing one of the first retarded brothers. Can we put let me hit the share.
Oh,
yeah. One of the brothers so inspired by the podcasting. Brother, you ready to hear this? He's still calling up there. He's been calling them from the feds. They got him on No Jumper right now. Still.
No, they don't, brother.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. He's been calling from the feds.
He's still that thirsty for attention.
Still calling from the feds. Look what that says. Loose Cannon says Big U set up Nipsey Hussle. He going back. He talking about crimes that ain't got nothing to do with him from years ago. And I'm here to tell you flat out, as a person from the community, he's from the 60s. I'm from 40s, but we from the same area. I'm right up the street. I've never seen him a day in my life before these podcasts.
Who? Loose Cannon?
Yeah.
Man.
Look at this. Whack 100 and Loose Cannon beat down and pistol whipped 2 men. Who the hell was holding the camera, aiming it at him? Who was recording all of this?
Yeah, this is wild, bro. This is wild.
We're doing this while this is happening.
Hey, bro, can you blow that up a little bit? Are you able to spread that a little bit?
Oh man.
No, you all right if you can,
I
but
don't know.
you touch it on the end, and there you go. Now spread it so we can kind of see it better. This is crazy. Yeah,
Who's holding the camera phone, recording it, uploading it, and then they bragging about it after?
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That's cool right there.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Man.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's like they inspire you to. Okay, so this goes back to, we've seen this before though. If you think about it, like, remember in the 80s when they used to do the like the 60 minutes and all of that, in the hood version. You feel me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, I'm just tripping off this because I do pay attention.
Check this out.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm waiting on you. Go ahead.
Checking in podcast. This is Big U. He made his own. So they didn't have to comb through those interviews and figure it out. They didn't have to hire no snitches to go and say that. He made a podcast his own self.
Checking in podcast.
Checking
when
in
Big
podcast.
U pulled up on Jim Jones in Harlem, Foster Projects for the check-in.
This ain't helping no youth. This ain't no football games.
Bro, how recent is that? Yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. This, man, we do, our people do some crazy stuff. Troy Parker said crazy work, man. Yeah, man, it's just ridiculous.
Look at this. K Flock in New York. He gets hit with a hip hop Rico. But at least these dudes, I'm going to say at least, but these dudes went down for doing crime and having the hip hop police on them, period. And maybe they'll reference their lyrics. These dudes we're talking about now has evolved to a level where they're just going down for podcasts. Casanova went down. They said they used his interview with Vlad TV, where he said he was the leader of Gorilla Stones. Fetty Wap, he wasn't podcasting. YFN Lucci, but it's still the same thing. It's like, why of all these?
It's either hip hop or podcast, though. They either they indict themselves in a song or indict themselves on a video,
or they indict themselves period just by just that lifestyle. Like, you making money off music, focus on that. Why you trying to be hard?
Yeah.
So check this out. Mid-90s comes the hip hop cop, Derek Parker, who creates the hip hop police. This is a real thing. So I can't feel sorry for none of these dudes because we on the outside looking in. Everybody on the inside looking out, they're very aware of the hip hop police. They could probably name you some of the agents and all that. You feel what I'm saying? So to know that there's agents all over anybody popular in hip hop and to knowingly go on these podcasts and all of that, I don't know what to tell you. But I know for the subject that we talking about, it first started coming out with this DVD. I don't know if you remember this. The Game, Stop Snitching, Stop Lying.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually showing how the feds had a whole division for hip hop artists, and there were certain hip hop artists working with them. Yeah, it's that bad now. You got certain artists that's with the feds.
But is it possible? And I think it is, but I will ask: is it possible that now that has transferred over into podcasting? Now they have podcasters doing the devil's bidding or doing the deed of the investigations and the manipulation and the distraction and redirecting people who listen to them?
Yeah, okay.
Because I'm thinking that now it's on another level.
I'm gonna go to page 4 of the Blue Bible. And tell you the answer is yes. You're 1,000% right. One of these experiments started in the 90s with we'll go to page 4. The biggest legend in the streets of South Central when I was growing up was not a revolutionary. It was a man serving a life sentence in the federal penitentiary known as Freeway Rick Ross. The rumor in the streets was he was a member of the Hoover Gangster Crips. I believed this until he was released, and I found out he was not a Crip at all. Right? So they put that out there to get it like, oh, we got to be like, you know what I'm saying? And get you on that type of time. He's just a hustler. Right? It was later revealed that the CIA used Ross to transform LA's local gangs into drug cartels and flood the ghettos of America with crack cocaine. During his incarceration, a hip-hop artist from Florida stole his identity and refused to pay him for it. Instead, Def Jam Records literally cloned him and right in front of our eyes. We didn't realize that was what was going on, but that was a casting. It wasn't off the pod. It wasn't Apple products yet, right? But that was a casting, a false casting then. Think about what I'm trying to say, Steve.
No, I'm right there with you, bro, because I remember when
CIA that gave him the drugs. He was selling dope, but when he had all them hundreds of keys, it was the CIA. He thought he was just buying dope. They got him to become that. Then they took the image, used it to sell it into hip hop, and refused to even pay him for it.
I remember when the most popular song, one of the most popular songs is "I'm a Boss." In that drop, and it was talking about being a drug boss. He got keys with Noriega, the real Noriega. You know what I'm saying? So he was talking as if that he was actually doing transaction with big cartels. You know what I'm saying? And government officials in other countries. You feel what I'm saying? So when you look at the Rick Ross, the actual Rick Ross, yeah, they put him in. They buried him until he was released, and then the Rick Ross, he turned it into entertainment.
But it's tied into hip hop because considering that he wasn't even a Crip, and when they locked him away and cast that spell on everybody, like it's just the LA Crip culture, like Rick Ross selling crack, they was able to cast that on the whole country while he was gone, and then turn it, and then take the Crip element out of it, and make it just a drug dealer Florida thing. Mix it with that element and rebrand it and resell it. And he gets no money out of it. He gets no creative control out of it, none of that. But they did that with Crip as well. Watch this, page 8 of the Blue Bible. It says, Pop Smoke, King Von, and P&B Rock were all murdered by Crips. After joining the 5% Nation, the first man I taught had Tupac Killer tattooed on his fingers. Death is the spirit of Crip. The word itself is etymologically crypt. A crypt is a room where a tomb is placed. This is a proper description of my neighborhood. Everyone there is caught in a cycle of death. Still, the fact remains, as I showed and proved, Allah is seen and heard in all worlds, including the world of Crip. In 1974, Raymond Washington was incarcerated, and the Bloods coalition began. You think that's a coincidence? They incarcerate him, and all of a sudden it's Bloods. But prior to that, everybody that was Bloods and Crips was the same thing. They even called each other Blood. But I know that's hard to even believe. Like, Crips call each other Blood? Yes. Okay? So, in 1974, Raymond Washington was incarcerated and the Bloods Coalition began. 2 years prior, one of Washington's homies created a constitution for the Crips. His name is Anifu Kareem Bey. I heard legends about him in prison, but could never confirm if he or the constitution were real. I personally confirmed his existence and that of the original Crip Constitution by way of the Moorish teacher Cosmo L. of the Moorish Science Temple of America. According to Kareem Bey, Crips originally meant community, revolutionary, inter-party services. See, that's a whole different vibration. The Crip was supposed to give you a vibration for standing up firm and taking care of the community and being on your Moorish science, right? They took that out of it because you know they're in an active war with them. They started the whole Negro History Week the same year the Prophet published the Holy Quran and Moorish Science Temple. So this has always been a war between the media and the Moors.
Let me ask you a question. I don't want to cut your wisdom because we got about 15 more minutes. I wanted to ask you what you mentioned about Snoop. Snoop is known as a certified Crip, if you will, before the public. Why would you say that he is also? Now I do believe that later on he became a puppet, but I don't think, did he come in as a puppet?
Okay, so let's go to when I say Snoop, who presented Snoop to us? Death Row.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't separate it. He was there for all of that. Everything I'm saying that we're saying, oh yeah, he was super right there. You see what I'm saying? So you can't separate the two. He was there when Reggie White, a police officer from the LAPD, was running Death Row.
Right.
He was there when Biggie got killed. when Pac got killed. You see what I'm saying? He was there when the security guards were Pirus/police officers. He was there for Rafael Perez, who they made the movie Training Day about. You see what I'm saying? I know my perspective. I can go by the Blue Bible. It says President Clinton endorsed California's booming prison system. No matter of fact, let me back up a little bit. Page 94. Music executives, the same ones that were there with Snoop, the same ones that was there with Eazy-E, same ones that was there with Dre. Yeah, ain't nobody off the hook. The same ones that were there with the great Tupac that y'all love so much. They were all there, right? So music executives and foreign investors joined America's prison industry in 1991. That's why they started promoting death row, to get you to feel as a child to be on death row is the hardest thing, right? The most gangster, most hip hop. After the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, the Cold War between Russia and America ended. Europe was left filled with weapons and spies. So they shipped them out. Right? They did this before. Remember Operation Paperclip after World War II. Yeah, this ain't new. So President Clinton endorsed California's booming prison system. So the music and the movies were meant to fill up the prisons. After Clinton left office, the gang problem in Los Angeles was...
Hold up, bro. Listen. Before we go, bro, I want you to close that because I need to bring you back next week so we can go over the Crip Bible.
Yeah.
The Blue Bible. Because at the end of the day, bro, you touching on some serious points in there that I think we need to literally just go straight through that. And I want to go through it and hit some of these points and associate it to what we're facing today. Because it seems to me when people hear the Blue Bible, right, they're looking at it from a perspective that is going to coincide with how they see the Bible. But in fact, it appears to me that you're breaking down that which we're facing right now. You know what I'm saying? And put in perspective to it.
That's why I always say it's the true, not the new. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, so family, y'all need to be here next week. We're gonna review the Blue Bible front and back. We're gonna review that front and back next week. So I don't even want you to say nothing about that no more. Let's wait for that one.
Let's bring them up to date then.
Bro, listen to this. When you look at Adam, and you was there in the podcast, bro, because you have arrived to a degree of consciousness as many of us have on this podcast. I know the audience on Moorish World TV, we call ourselves critical thinkers. So when you walk into that room, could you describe what it felt like? You know how you go into a room, right? Because you've been in our colleges, right? And you go in there and you can feel the room. You already know. You already know what it is. You know what this one is about, just the energy. You ain't got to say nothing. You know what this one about, you know what this one is possibly about. Then you can look at this one, taking advantage of that one. When you walk in that room to do a podcast with Adam 22, because I did a stream looking into his background, and he just seemed agent to me. I could be wrong, but he seemed, when you walk into that room, did you feel like, what I just walk into, what's up with these people?
It felt like the devil casting spell machine. Like it's basically a room, bro, full of all debauchery. You got the porn right here, the gangbanger right here, the brothers getting high right here, the brothers over here chopping up, beating each other, talking about gang banging in prison, all this stuff that Adam ain't got nothing to do with.
Yeah.
Okay. He's there to facilitate it. You basically have the equivalent of like a biker, a white biker from when the white biker Hell's Angel type gangs do their facilitating over a bunch of black criminals, self-admitted criminals.
And that's what threw me off because I be covering Tariq Nasheed, and I seen him on there. I said, I wonder who was there running their mouth when he was rating there to be recorded next. You know what I'm saying? Because soon as they ran down on Big U, Tariq Nasheed was across the country. But one thing I wanted to ask you was, I seen something, and you may have seen it too, that Tariq Nasheed said he was a Crip or something like that. He was a Crip. Now, what is a Crip in the 90s? Is it the same thing as when you were coming up? and the different from today? Because when I see a Tariq Nasheed, I don't see a Crip. And like, but you said there's variables of Crips though. But he said,
like, what's funny is when he said it, right? Nipsey said, "Oh, I didn't know that. I never heard that." Right? It's crazy how Nip immediately shut it down. So this goes back to the casting spells. It's like you got Nip here, and now you want to cast out to the world, like, yeah, I'm with the East Coasters. I don't know what the hell that was about, but once
yeah, it was the East Coast Crips.
Man, he even said, "I like the '60s. Those are some good dudes." And I'm like, what the hell is he? You know what I mean? Like even when I find out that Nip, you know what I'm saying? Even shout to G-Body, you know what I mean? He had connections with him and all that. When I find out his connections, it just really bothers me that our people hold this game banging thing to such a high podium that it's like Tariq, you know for a fact nobody sees you as a Crip. Why would you even? Did they tell you to say that something like? Why did you even throw that into the paradigm? What was the point of that? I don't get it.
Yeah, and the thing is that I've just noticed that people that's on these podcasts, it's a circle of them. It's a circle of them, and they make their rounds. They make their rounds.
And they all have an agenda.
They make their rounds, and when I seen them on that podcast a few days ago, I'm sorry, all of the people was there. All of the ones that accused of being agents, all the ones that accused of setting people up and bringing people on their podcast to spill the beans, all of them was in one room. Just 2 or 3 days ago. I was like, wow. And even Whack seemed a bit different. Like, he was even having that, as my uncle used to call that poop eating grin, that like not the real laugh, but like, well, I'm here now and I got it's like somebody said, all of y'all come together and do a podcast together. And now you're forced to do it. It seemed forced. Like an agent convention. It looked like an agent convention. But I don't know. I don't know about Whack per se, but it definitely looked like an agent convention.
Let me show you where it starts. I can show you right where it starts. I know exactly what you're talking about. They even had one up before this, right? So on World Star, the first time they actually took this, is how you know it was fake, right? They had a dude go up there, identity hidden, said, "My name is Trash Man. I'm the murderer of Stack Bundles." Describe how he did the murder, all of that. Then the video disappears, and he never gets in trouble. Now all of a sudden, everybody wants to go on World Star and fight somebody, kill somebody. Right. So after that, you get the academics, right? He starts the war in Chirac. Chirac murder rate was going down. As soon as he started that, the murder rate started going up. He put a space to facilitate the murders, give them names, make the stories up, start the beefs, end the beefs, create the beefs, fix them, all of that. He becomes the controller of the whole thing.
Hold up. Let's give the viewer some detail. So you're saying that although there is some skirmishes, if you will, in Chicago, DJ Academics give these skirmishes a platform, and now these skirmishes turn into all-out wars on the ground because they're becoming popular on the podcast. So when one hears what is happening in these skirmishes or these neighborhoods back and forth, now the other neighborhood, like, oh, then they come and trade the stories on these podcasts, and then it spills over into the community, and now you got what they call the war in Chirac.
The war in Chirac is literally a brainchild of him, and I don't even think it was the brainchild of him. I think they told him to name it that because of the war in Iraq. Basically, if we take the word literal of casting, then we'll realize that it's just like a radio. Like we used to play the radio and play music to heal ourselves. Now we play the radio. You get in niggas' cars that claim to be street or of the street hip hop culture. There's no music playing out. It's just people talking and arguing about podcasts and stuff. So he was used to create that. To answer your question, like how we get here, Academics was the first one. Because remember, Academics does music too. So he'll play some music, he'll review a couple albums, and then he'll talk about Chicago. You know what I mean? He used to mix it. So he was the first wizardry of mixing hip hop in crime news reporting.
I didn't know that academics was so popular until the last few years ago.
Well, check this out. No, go ahead.
When he started doing the interviews with 6ix9ine.
Okay, bam. Oh, you so on point, Sheik. So check this out, Sheik. 2017, 6ix9ine becomes the biggest blood, right? You got this video, he meets the Bloods. But before that, the label was already setting him up with academics to try and act like a blood. He hadn't even met no Bloods yet. He's sitting here with a red rag with academics talking about a gay sex tape and a rape charge. Once again, the same pattern of all the puppets.
Right.
And then he made a video with Trippie Redd, another rock and roll, weird sexual dude that's posing like a blood. So they had an agenda with the Bloods. And then here he goes up in the courtroom and he tells on the whole hip hop. He names Cardi B, Jim Jones, Snoop Dogg, and me and you know whether they got charged or not. That's documented now in court document. So after he does this hearing and tells on the quote unquote Bloods, these are just some dudes in New York. Because you think about it, the Bloods in New York that we heard about over all these years, Jim Jones and all them dudes, they wasn't involved with them. They wouldn't touch them. So they found some random dudes who just wanted to be popular and got them to co-sign. This dude never got put on no blood set or nothing like that. But what was the point of me showing you all this? Look at them all sitting together right there. Whack 100, the voice of hip-hop crime on the West, Tekashi 6ix9ine, Hussein Campbell for the East, and academics for the South and the Midwest. All together, 2021. After that, everybody get hit with Ricos. It can't be a coincidence. But the only person sitting there that got a connection to the CIA, police, all that deep stuff we talking about is Wack. Because you got them death row connections.
How do Wack get? I remember somebody said that Wack was like, you ain't even, I'm in your hood, you ain't even in the streets. You ain't in no hood. What are you talking about? Yeah. How does Wack get translated on the internet as being some raw gangbanger to the podcast world when, you know, like we older now? Ain't nobody gang banging on thing.
Well, as you can see in this picture with him with Suge, he go back, bro. And then it ain't just about him going back as far as in years. Death Row is one of the first places they really did like what we're talking about now. Like when we see these podcasts, the first place to pull it off where we could take a person who's not even a gangbanger and have them doing music and casting out spells to tell people to be Bloods and Crips even if they not one.
Right.
You know, that's, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to say no names, but there was plenty of people on Death Row that was not from no gang.
Man, I think
like some of the most popular gangbangers in the country.
I was thinking about it today because I actually like Tupac, but I think Tupac is a great performer. I think he's a great actor. I think he's an entertainer. However, he was able to translate that entertainer persona, that entertainer experience, because I mean expertise. Let me use the word expertise. He was able to translate that entertainer expertise to have people believing that he was an actual gangbanger. I mean, when we grew up and we know he wasn't a gangbanger, but he was able to sell it. He was able to sell it. You know, what do you feel about when you get a Tupac, a trained actor? He was trained. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the music that Tupac put out, but I know the difference between the Terminator and a script and a real person that's a cyborg walking down my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying about Tupac, do you think he was one of the ones that was also used? Because remember, Afeni was a Black Panther. Remember, he comes from the background of that. But then, as you said about the 70s or the 90s hip hop, it kind of intermingled that crossroad of revolution to nonsense. Do you think he was handpicked for that too?
You about to get the exclusive story never told before because everybody's scared. and I'm tired of biting my tongue. Afeni Shakur, the top
Hold up.
woman.
Let me.
Okay.
I want you to hold that for 1 second. Somebody say Pac did not sell gang banging. He sold revolution. He was a loyal to Suge. No, I'm a rider is a gang bang slang. Let's stop playing. I won't deny you. I'm a straight rider. You don't wanna. That's a West Coast thing. I ain't from the West Coast.
Check
Let's
this
stop
out.
playing. But go ahead. And I'm a Tupac, and I'm a Tupac fan. But I'm telling you that he sold gang culture at the very minimal, and at least 3 songs in each album. Go ahead, brother.
My last name is Rivers. My uncle Deron Rivers, 4th member of Thug Life, the group. I'm not telling you this from a fan perspective or from the songs. Tupac got turned out. I was in prison with Trey D, sitting in the cell with him, smoking, rapping, chop it up. And he told me how the last time he seen him, when they was in Vegas, he was over there talking about, hey, some blood, get past them crab legs, ha ha ha, on purpose, loud for the Crips to hear him. Like, let's not play here, right? We're here to tell the truth, okay? So this is what happens. Afeni Shakur, one of the top Black Panther women at the time, beats the Panther 21 case. Yes, 21 Black Panther members locked in the feds, fighting the case. They're accusing them of committing terrorism and arson, and she beats the case without a lawyer herself. You think they weren't plotting on her? You think he wasn't a target from before birth? So as they watched him grow into this thing, I don't think he was working the whole time. The story of what happened to him is kind of obvious, but I think we just get so caught into the media and the casting of all the spells, we forget what happened. He was your regular, everyday rapper, kind of revolutionary, street, all this and that, but he had an extra element to him because of the Panthers part. He had just sued the police station. He had even shot 2 cops. He was that man as far as revolutionary stuff and on the street level and all of that. So what happens at Quad Studio? He gets shot up. The brothers he's dealing with, they into some sexual thing. He gets a rape charge. They come in there while he's in there on a rape charge, offer him an ultimatum. He's back out now. That David Kidder dude I'm talking about put all that together. Not sure. But here's the catch, though. That's the same thing happened to Tekashi 6ix9ine. But we don't want to look at it like that because this is Tupac. He got a bald head. He's dark skinned. He's the man.
Hold up. Make the parallel. Paint the picture. What you mean the same thing?
Tekashi 6ix9ine was just some random rapper. He was booming in Europe. He wasn't booming in America, but he had a career. He was going to Quad Studio, same studio Pac went to that he claimed he got set up at. And from Quad Studio, he didn't get shot up. That's not the narrative for him. He got invited to an orgy, similar with Pac. It's just that in his case, he got invited. In Pac's case, they invited to his room. Next thing you know, he has a rape charge. Same thing happened to Pac. Difference is they took Pac down all the way. Remember, Pac is a whole different level of a character than 6ix9ine. I'm not comparing him that level. I'm talking about what happened. The powers that be used the same exact tactic, the same studio, the same charge. The difference is Pac went into prison. We watched it happen with Pac. He went into prison. All of a sudden, they come in, he come out death row. We knew he wouldn't have been death row before that. He was on some revolutionary move in a whole different direction, right? Now, all of a sudden, it's gangster this. How can you say he wasn't selling gangster? Whoever said that needed to be, I don't want to go too far. But the number one song was Ain't Nothing But a Gangster Party. See,
goodness gracious, bro.
That's the idolization, though. No, that's he's God to them. He does no wrong. Oh, like, that's the Negro black color mentality, bro. It's sad, homie. Because what it makes you think is anybody that fits black can do no wrong. So that's when you had the strippers talk about, we was twerking in Africa. We was naked in Africa. Girl, I don't want to hear that. What the hell? I heard that, though.
Yeah.
Right? It's the retardation of, instead of dealing with Islam and peace and science and mathematics, it's idolization. Oh, they said Jesus used to be shaking his booty, so we be shaking our booty now. Like, come on, bro. You sound weird. Like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
So, my thing is that, and to add to the element, he was a trained actor. You know what I mean? He went to the Baltimore School of Arts. And so you take that and then being turned out and then put in a position to make millions, get fame as well as fortune. That's a cocktail for destruction right there. That's a cocktail for destruction because he's actually professionally trained in the ways of. I remember I listened to Tretch. Tretch said he went to try out for the part in Juice, and when he didn't get the part, he was with Pac. Him and Pac, I think, tried out for it together. And I think the story goes that when Pac goes in there, he's in the outside room. And he hear rumbling, boom, 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 boom. He's like, man, he about to go in there, like, get the thing. Let's go up in there. What's going on in there? And he would find out that Pac is so deep into character that there's no way in the world that they would deny him giving him that part. Whatever he was role playing, he was all in. And so I say all that to say that when you have a person that's all into a movie role, like, you know what I mean, his first role right there, and now you got some of the stories that you hear about Death Row, there's nothing but bloods around. And Suge is the muscle. I mean, got people doing crazy stuff, smacking them and all that.
Sheik, I don't want to cut your wisdom, but think about what you just said. According to the image, it's nothing but bloods around, but their main artist was Crips. Snoop Dogg, Daz, Nate Dogg. See, it's all just
and you mentioned about the police. And you mentioned about the police.
Exactly. It was police officers, Crips, and Bloods. But they lied and say it was a Blood record label.
No. Many of them, and they admit that many undercover police officers was hired by Death Row. That was strange to me too.
Sheik. I know it's hard to fathom this. Reggie White Jr., not undercover, overcover, on top of the cover cop, was not hired. He was actually running Death Row. I know it's hard to, but let that sink in. Yeah, he was running it. These niggas was the faces, bruh. I'm coming to bring you the truth. These niggas was the faces, okay? Reggie White of LAPD, Rampart Division, and David Kinder, the mob boss lawyer, were the masterminds into day-to-day operation of Death Row.
So how after all of that, and this will be my last question. I can't wait to the next show now. This is going to be hard one to top. I need people that want to be interviewed. Come on here. Y'all got to top Crip Jesus. This is going to be a hard one to top. This high level. When somebody put in the chat, this is high level conversation here.
This is high level, yes.
Brother, with all that, right, how does Suge end up in prison? Now, we know the crime he committed. We know the commodity community. How does that happen?
Sheik, you got me on fire. I'm going to tell you how. Because it's a lie cast spell that when you work with the devil, you win. When we watch people fall every day, every time. No one has worked with the devil and won. Not no time. But with some reason, we keep saying, damn, how did he end up in prison? Damn, how Eazy-E end up dead? Damn, how Dr. Dre end up stuck over here? Damn, how Ice Cube end up with his perm cut off and stuck over here quiet? Damn, because it don't never work. Stop guessing. You feel what I'm saying? So my bad. I'm just on fire right now. But hold on. I'm saying the reason Suge ends up in prison is because if you work for us and you start getting a little comfortable, out of control, you like a bad child, right? You get whipped on the most. We see it with R. Kelly. We know they was working with him. We watched him on camera do what he did and stay free for about 20, 30 years. He pissed the wrong person off. Did he? You want me to keep going? You get what I'm saying? We've watched people work with them, and it's just like getting bullied. As soon as you accept it, it get worse. It get worse. You know what I'm saying? It get worse. It get worse. It get worse. And the better you are, the worse it get. The more you listen to them, you're a good one, right? The day you finally stand up for yourself is, oh, he's starting to think for himself now. Get him.
And that's why Snoop get to stay around so long.
Because he gets to, because Snoop,
he's
Snoop
not bucking the system.
But look, you can tell Snoop is working. He was a Rasta, a pimp, what else? Like he's everything. He's
somebody say you ask about Tariq Nasheed. Yeah, we asked briefly about Tariq Nasheed. He said he was Tariq said he was an East Coast Crip. I don't know what set he was a part of, or and then we already talked this, so you have to rewind and check that part out. But that's what happens. You know what I notice about a lot of these people that claim to be for the people, even trying to be a part of the fabric of a lifestyle that they selling to the people, that they always changing.
Sheik, Corey Washington said DJ Yella from NWA got into porn later. Snoop was into porn. I'm starting to see these connections now. Exactly, Sheik. And you know the porn thing, they're gonna get you if you like a little freaky trick type of dude. Or they got you up in there. They're gonna bring them little porn girls around you.
So now
you doing anything they say. Hey, remember Praz? If you think I'm over exaggerating, David Kenner, the lawyer who controlled Death Row, went to jail for revealing that Praz was working for the presidents in them. Praz, the rapper from Fugees. You know I'm not lying. It go that deep to espionage level from country to country. Rappers, hip hoppers, because you would never expect it.
But the thing is that now it's in the conscious area too. I'm telling you, bro, this thing is crazy. But I discovered,
but I talk about it here. The United Slaves, Robert Karinga, and all of them little conscious police officers.
Bro, what I discovered with this situation that I find myself in with Tariq Nasheed, bro, when the documentary drop, everybody jaw gonna drop. And I'm telling you, what you're talking about the rappers, and you're talking about these record labels, bro, it's the same thing in these conscious quote-unquote circles, and in these social advancing circles, it's the same thing. People are putting out false narratives.
I would say it starts with the conscious community, because if you go into COINTELPRO, if you go to the beginning of this video, and we started off talking about the 70s being used to manufacture a false movement in the 60s, COINTELPRO, Ghetto Informant Program, they all came in the name of conscious community. That was the dudes with the dashikis on saying, "Hey, brother, libation." That's why the street dudes didn't respect them or trust them.
Oh, you connecting
the Robert Karinga, Kwanzaa, and all that. When I was in prison, we didn't respect them dudes because it's like, nah, homie, we mess with the dudes that dealt with Islam, but then you had to start watching them because the feds knew that. Like, all right, they respect the Muslims, so let's get some snitch Muslims around. No, man, you got to watch out, man. Because once hip hop became the lick, it became the hip hop police, certain rappers. Okay, let's go back to the first hip hop RICO, Murder Inc. Before the podcast and all that. Murder Inc. and Preem, all that was fake. We know that, but they tried to make it like Preem was funding Murder Inc. and they had to do with the 50 and the this and the that, and they linked it all together, and it's been on since then. Rappers working with the feds. You know, I ain't gonna say no names, but you can see certain beefs where you see a certain rappers working with the police.
Man, yeah. So today is Thursday. We on Thursday now. So I'm looking at, man, we got to come back here at least by Tuesday or Wednesday next week and go over the Crip Bible. But I want to wait. The Crip Bible, the Blue Bible, but I want to wait until I need to get my copy now, because I need to go over my copy, and so I can get my interview questions right, because most people say I do a good interview. I ask some questions, and I see you just got fired up, so obviously I might ask some good questions to get you fired up. But
like Troy Parker said, why these record labels not catching RICOs? Me and you didn't see enough RICOs to know they would love to throw the record label in there and say you facilitating the environment to create these things, but they don't even think of throwing the label in there, because the label was how they catch them in the first place, because it's not real. It ain't no, the black people ain't got no cartels. We broke out here. Stop lying.
Yeah.
So what they do is they use the record labels and all of that in the reality shows and the podcast to get us to act like we own that. And then they charge you with it.
Man. So look, family, in the description section of this video, you're going to find all the links to Crip Jesus. You're going to find the link to his Instagram, the Black Illuminati, his website, theblackilluminati.com, his YouTube channel, as well as his number. He even put his number on the demonstration.
Come on, y'all.
he even put his number on the demonstration, man. You can call and you can get the Blue Crip Bible, but if you get it, don't read it until we do the show.
They call it the Crip Bible. It's the Blue Bible.
The Blue Bible. They're going to remember that for the rest of their life. Hey, listen, the Blue Bible. I'm sorry, my apology. Listen, family, if you happen to order the Crip Bible,
nigga,
the Blue Bible. It's the Crip Bible. I am promoting this because I'm going over it next time. No, if you happen to get it, family, wait for me to do the interview next week so we can go through it together. I really want to go to it. Somebody said promoting. Yeah, I'm promoting this because it intertwines with this conversation right now. And I'm interested in seeing what it's about. I'm interested in seeing what it's about. If you don't, that's fine with me. But I'm going to.
I'm real sensitive about that because a lot of people play with me like that. They say, "Oh, the Crip Bible," and they think it's like a gang book.
Yeah,
like,
and that's what I'm saying. When I heard
the level
you read,
of science in here is beyond even them conscious dudes. I'm really exposing them. I talk about Robert Karinga.
This is what I'm saying.
And United Slaves and all. You know what I'm saying?
Listen to what I'm saying. Moorish World TV is about getting people to critically think, right? So if you have a book and you bring up Karinga, whatever his name is, the one that did Kwanzaa, right? I see people right now bringing him on podcasts this past December, right? Bringing him on podcasts. People that I suspect that is an agent that I know snitched on people, got proof, and they got to connect to get him on a podcast?
Come on.
In 2024? And now in your book, you're saying that, yeah, this guy is definitely compromised, and it's in your book. But your book is called The Blue Bible, which no one would even suspect. Would no one even suspect that you have something like that in there? So, yeah, I want to peep it.
So, and don't forget, his organization was called United Slaves. I mean, if you got half a brain cell, that's clearly working. What brother wakes up in the morning and says, let's be United Slaves? Like,
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah,
so next Wednesday, hopefully next Wednesday, we'll be live on it. And so again, family, anything that you want, and the reason why I told y'all the links in there, whoever said that, oh, you promoting, of course I am. I think this is a great conversation. I heard the brother reading from the book that correlates with this conversation. So now it's time to see how we look into this conversation more deeper and look at the Adams 22, because Adam 22, no jumper, ain't the first one, ain't gonna be the last. Vlad's ain't the first, ain't gonna be the last. The guy created Kwanzaa and got everybody doing Kwanzaa, ain't the first, ain't gonna be the last.
Man,
so we're gonna look at this and critically think and break our way through.
This go back to the brothers in Egypt that let Constantine and them play with the books. All right, this been going on, man.
Yeah.
Okay, man. This go back to the brothers that let the Greeks come up in Egypt and play with the part up there, and we had to come back down to the south. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
This come to the dudes that the Mamelukes take over Egypt, and we had to scoot over to the west and come with Marrakesh. We've been going through this.
And let me say, one of the reasons I do like this conversation also, you don't seem to have any fear to speak to that which a lot of people say, well, I'm gonna leave that alone.
No,
and you just
know what? I used to. I ain't gonna lie. When I first started this Crip Jesus thing, it was all laughs and giggles. I used to cover up the truth and try to make metaphors and try to be click. But I started realizing this: the more I kept covering up the truth to sell it to people, the more I started becoming like what I was trying to get away from. Next thing I know, I was in New York with a gold grill on, with a mink on in the club with a stripper, talking about the Crip Jesus. What happened to the truth? Oh, it's in here somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So now I just leave it uncut, real how it is. I'm going through the same thing we all going through. It's a transition, and we can't transition out of this unless we tell the truth, bro. The problem is a lot of us get that wisdom and understanding, but we don't really give it to the youth. We kind of like kind of tell the truth. Nah, bro, let them know that Adam 22 is foul. Let them know that he's a skateboarder. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to shut up after this. The same way Biggie had that TG in his music video and we didn't notice it back then, I think a lot of us are still blind. Right. I think a lot of us know what's foul going on with these podcasts and all that, but we be like, oh, man,
or we want to be entertained. We just want to.
We don't want to be entertained, bro. I got homies right now that don't even watch that stuff, and they'll get dragged into it. They'll be like, somebody said my name, I gotta look. Everybody getting dragged in.
Yeah,
everybody get dragged in. We gotta take a stance, bro. And I took a stance by making what I make. Yeah, I don't get views. I know when I make the bad stuff, I get way more views and all that. It's a mind game. They want me to conform. I'm not conforming. Just like when you see me, I went on No Jumper, you start asking me about eating booty and what I do with my case and all this weird stuff. I ain't going for it. I'm not going for it. Yeah. Because I'm here to show that it don't matter. I got the whole little background. Mama smoked crack, dead, street, South Central, dropout, prison. It don't matter. You see how I talk. You see how I'm dressed. You're like, wow, you look like Sharif. Exactly. But because why would you want to look like Tyrone, bang, bang, who want to look like that? Why are you trying to cast that spell on yourself?
See, that you talk.
Mad and say, oh, they messing with me. They picking on me. No, you presenting yourself like a threat. I feel the same way. I'm about ready to shoot you.
With that being said, family, that's a mic drop right there. Family, I will see y'all tomorrow night. This is Crip Jesus here in the building. I'm gonna try to bring them on sooner. I just need to check my schedule. I've been working a lot, family. I got some lectures I'm doing on the road, and so I got to make sure I get a couple extra coins so I can make it happen. And if you want to support the things that is going on this podcast, go ahead, tap in to Crip Jesus. All the links is in the description section. And if you want to support the channel, you know how to do it. Share it at minimum. Hit the Cash App at maximum. And anything in between. We appreciate you, family. I'm up out of here. Crip, I'll talk to you on the other side. Looking forward to the next show.
Yes, Peace. Sir.
This was a good one here, fam. This was a good one here, fam. You got to admit, fam, this was a good one here.
Oh, I was loving it.
Yeah, this is a good one here.
I could go for about 2-3 more hours. They lucky. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, but you coming right back. Don't worry. Peace, my brother.
Back on it. Peace.
Yeah, family. This was a good one, family. I think it flowed pretty good. If y'all like shows like this, where I bring people in to interview, it got to be interesting. You know what I mean? I don't want to bring a dry interview in. You know what I mean? I don't want to bring a dry interview in. So, Dundee Z TV, are you that, let me see, are you the brother that be on in the morning? Let me see, hold up. Let me see. I got to see real quick. Dundee TV, hold up. Let me see, is that you? I like you, bro. If this you, I think you the guy that I'll be checking out on. I'll be watching you on let me see. Is that you? I think that's you. Hey, family, go subscribe to Dundee Z TV. I actually watched this, bro. Hey, brother, let me tell you something about you. I've been watching you for a minute, right? And I remember when you started, if you will. And man, you and I'm gonna keep it a stack because we all be in this joint. Trying to get it popping. Man, your views would not pop for nothing. And I was like, I just kept watching it. You know what I mean? I wouldn't comment because, people, that it takes people off what you doing. And I think you used to come on with your music. Let me see. I'm about to click a video. I think you used to come on with your dancing and your button-up shirt. Yeah. So I wouldn't say much. Every once in a while, I might say something because I don't like to take people off of their pivot. Soon as a Tahaka Bay say something, you know what I mean, they'll lose their thought and be like, oh, Moorish World TV. So I kind of sit in the background. But congratulations on the success of your platform. I see that your numbers are growing, looking really, really good. Continue, brother. And anybody who is doing a podcast, social media, YouTube, family, never let it go. Because when I see people like I've been watching him when he started, And man, he got it going on, man. He got it going on now, and it's a beautiful thing to see. So yeah, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, man. Good luck and continue to be successful in your podcast, family. And everybody else, man. And this how we gotta do, fam. We gotta show some love, man. We gotta show some love. He used to come in, he be dancing with the button up. But it be only him and like 3 people. And then out of the blue, boom. So, family, if you thinking of creating a podcast and content, that's a testament, family. That's a testament. Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. With that being said, I see y'all tomorrow with another fascinating show. I probably will be talking about Tariq Nasheed tomorrow. Peace and love, family. Have a beautiful night. Talk to you on the other side.